you get an app that looks something like this, basically a website as an app. I'm going to show you how to convert your website into an app. This process is rather straightforward, more so than building an app from scratch might be. So if you already have an existing website, this is a great option if you want to build an app with minimal work. Now granted, the types of apps you can build with this method are somewhat limited, like you can't have push notifications and things like that. The specific type of app I'm talking about is mostly information based. So if you have an information based website and you just want the same functionality that's on your website in your app, then this is the right video for you. My victim for today's experiment is called houstonzoo.org. They have a website with this cute looking animal. I don't even know what that is. Is that a possum? Not really sure, but they have a website and I'm going to turn it into an app with its own app icon and app name visible on your home screen, and it's going to be for iOS and Android. So let's get started. Here are my 3 steps for converting a website into an app. Step number 1 is you need to make the website mobile friendly. This is because we're going to be basically wrapping the website in some sort of browser in an app, and the tool we're going to be using for this is Ionic. So basically it needs to be working well in a mobile browser first, and then we can do the next steps and it will work much better. Then step number 2 is to download and configure the app template I'm going to give you today. I'll give you a link to that, and then all you have to do is publish your app to the iOS and Android stores. So let's look at step number 1, make the website mobile friendly more in depth. This means the following. Your app needs to take into account that mobile devices are smaller in width and height, and so the page needs to shrink and not stretch beyond the natural width of the phone. Alright, it's fine if it scrolls vertically, but it can't horizontally scroll. At least that wouldn't be a very good user experience. So make sure it works well on small screens, and make sure that you have ever-present navigation. What this means is always having a home link at the top left of your page that users can click that and go back to the home page, because there isn't going to be any sort of other navigation in the app other than what's on the website. So make sure your website has good ever-present navigation. They can always get to where they need to from any point in the app. This also means your website can't have any island pages. And an island page is a page in your website where users go to that page and then they can't get back. So that's kind of the same ever-present navigation point, but just I want to make clear that they can't go somewhere and not be able to get back. Otherwise, they're going to have to relaunch the app in order to get back to your home page. So make sure your website has good navigation and there are no island pages. Finally, for all links to external domains, you need to use the _blank target, or in other words, the links need to open up in a new tab. That's what that code is. Code for is links need to go to a new tab. Otherwise, if they go to like facebook.com and it opens up on the same page, then what that's going to do is cause users to click on that link to go to your Facebook, and then all of a sudden your app just turns into a Facebook app. So make sure all links are _blank. All external links need to open up in a new tab. And now that your website is mobile friendly, what we're going to do is download and configure the app template that I've provided for you today. So here's the URL. It's github.com/jamesonssaunders/convert-website-to-app. Pretty intuitive URL. I'll leave that on the screen for a while in case you want to write that down. But basically you just download the zip file from that URL. Okay, so that link I sent you, the GitHub link, that's a Ionic project. And if you're unfamiliar with coding and you're not sure how to open this thing up and how to edit it, stay tuned till the end of the video. I'll have some more information if you want to learn more about coding. This is really like the most basic stuff. Compared to what you would need to do to build an app from scratch, this is nothing. So basically all we have to do is inside of the home.page.html, we go in here and we change the source attribute right here to be our website, okay? And by the way, one caveat to this is that the website that's being hosted cannot have the X-frame options same origin HTTP header on it. Okay, and it shouldn't be on your website by default, but if someone put that there, which basically means that other people can't embed your website in another website, then this will not work. So make sure that you do not have the X-frame options same origin header on your website. But assuming your website is all good, and it usually should be for the most part, you just enter in that URL right here. So I've entered in www.houstonzoo.org, and That's pretty much the only thing you need to change as far as functionality. You can see this app is super simple. It is one line of code right here, and then a couple more lines of code right here for styling it. And that is how incredibly simple this app is. Okay, so we've completed step 2.2, which is to change the source attribute on the homepage iframe to your website. Okay, but mine's already set to the website that I want. And then step 2.3 is input your app name, ID, and icon. So essentially all you have to do is go over to the Ionic project and go over to the ionic.config.json and change this to the name you want your app to be called. Mine's called Houston Zoo. And then in the capacitor.config.json, you can change the ID of the app, which is usually a reverse domain identifier. So that's basically your website domain in reverse, and then whatever project it's called, you can just use site or something if this is the only project you have. And then you once again put the app name right here. And then as far as configuring the app icon and building the app to your phone and testing it, I've already made videos, full in-depth tutorials on how to do each of those, as well as how to publish the app to the iOS and Android stores in a course called Mobile App Development that's on my site. So that's a part of my paid program, but I've already outlined all the steps for you. If you know how to do those things and you're basically in a home run, you just simply hit the build button and you get an app that looks something like this. There's our guy right there. You can click on that. You can go to our now basically a website as an app, and you can click on links in here. And so basically the app works 100%, and you'll get an app like that as long as you, number one, change the source attribute to your website, and then you input your app name, your icon, your app ID, and then you build it to your phone, and it just gives you an app with your website as an app. It's super easy. This app template literally has less than 10 lines of code customization needed. So compare that to building the app from scratch, and this is a breeze. So thanks for joining me. Once again, you can join my paid program if you're interested in learning how to build the app and configure the icon and so forth. Thanks, and I'll see you hopefully in the course.